What's up, everybody, and welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. You can always join us live over on twitch.tv/the official ITG, as well as YouTube ITG reviews at 11 a.m. Eastern. But if you can't join us live, hit us up later inside the game.ca podcast services and TV streaming networks around the globe. Scott, what's happening today, buddy?
Oh man, I was up real late last night playing a game for review. I can't spoil it, but boy, does that have the best intro I've ever seen.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot to talk about. We'll get into that one for tomorrow. But Scott, people can follow you over on Twitter at Savage, and if they want, they can follow me as well, Artistic Gamer 28. And if they want to follow the channel, the official ITGs, where you can find us there as well. Scott, coming up on today's show, are you ready for this? Todd Howard.
So there's a lot of stuff going on constantly. These presentations is not the end of the news.
Oh my goodness, dude, they're still going. There's an indie showcase today as well. I'm like, this is just non-stop. It feels like it's never gonna end. It keeps us busy, that's for sure. Todd Howard talks about the future of Fallout 5 and when the game will see its release. Man, we'll talk about that one. 200 games will be leaving the new PlayStation Plus service, and S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2 Heart of Chernobyl gets delayed. Sorry, Nate. That's about
one. Man, that one bites.
I'm looking forward to that game. I know. I knew you and Nate were like all over that one, and then I saw that come up. I was like, oh, I get it, but man, that really sucks. Let's get into it. Alessandro over at GameSpot fills us in as Fallout 5 is coming after The Elder Scrolls 6, confirms Todd Howard. Let's get into that discussion because, dude, there's a lot to talk about. Bethesda's Todd Howard has confirmed that the studio plans to work on Fallout 5 following the completion of The Elder Scrolls 6, according to an interview with IGN. Speaking about the studio has planned after Starfield, Howard touched on the progress of Elder Scrolls 6 by stating the project was still in pre-production, suggesting this is still a while away from a launch. In the same breath, Howard confirmed that Fallout 5 is planned as the next game after that. Yes, quote, yes, Elder Scrolls 6 is in pre-production, and we're going to be doing Fallout 5 after that. So our slate's pretty full going forward for a while, end quote. Howard told IGN, quote, we have some other projects that we would look at from time to time as well, end quote. Scott.
Oh, okay.
That was a little bit interesting. See what else. Do you think we'll see a Fallout Shelter 2? I think that's...
I wasn't thinking about Shelter. Yeah, that's an interesting thought, because I don't know if that was a big enough commercial success that would have warranted a sequel, although I really enjoyed it.
Sure. What are your thoughts on Fallout 5, and when do you think we'll see that?
I'm a little disappointed that it's not being referred to as New Vegas 2, because that's the one that I wanted, and there was rumors of that a while ago, but
absolutely
no, Fallout 5, anytime they come back to the Fallout world, I've never been disappointed, so I'm really excited about that. But like they said, it's in pre-production. That makes it nowhere near coming out. We're not going to see anything about this for several years now, and because of the scope of the game, I'm okay with that. But
sure,
oh man, I hope Starfield keeps me going for a while.
Man, the size of that game, I don't think it's going to disappear. Like yeah, you'll be playing that for years to come, I think. And I wonder if that's their plan, right? We'll get you on this for years. There's so much content. People are just going to dive right into that game and stay with it and probably not play too many other games. Just bounce in the world of Starfield and stick around. But when it comes to Fallout 5, like Fallout 4 was what, in 2015?
I think it was, yeah. 2015 sounds right.
So, man, like that was 7 years ago. Now we're getting into the next Elder Scroll after Starfield, but Elder Scroll 6 isn't anywhere near being done either. You figure how long they've taken. It's been 7 years. Dude, now Todd Howard says he's been talking about Starfield for 25 years, but in the grand scheme of things, right? Development, all that kind of pre-production, getting into the game, the development of the game, and then the final launch, it looks like it's 7-8 year game in development. So if we're another 7-8 years yet for Elder Scrolls 6, dude, we're 2030 before we even think of the concept of Fallout 5.
The scale of Starfield might not be the best to compare to, because it's
That's
just
fair.
so large that perhaps the production took, what would have been 2 games, and they kind of just put them together, like Elden Ring, and how the scale of it was just much bigger than what we're used to. So I'm hoping that explains the difference in production time. And although, again, if a Fallout game comes out and it's that big, it's just as big as Starfield, but in the Fallout universe, I will not complain.
It's just the games keep getting bigger, right? I think that's the thing we see a lot of lately. Dude, it's hard to find. I don't say hard to find, but it is unique to find a smaller game these days that tie in around 8, 10, 12 hours, right? Everything we play now is 100 hours, if not more. 100 hours sometimes is just scratching the surface.
I just had a thought too. I'm hoping that this stays away from the live service that Fallout 76 did. Now, Fallout 76 is not necessarily a good example of how to do that system,
sure.
But I would like to see them not take any shortcuts when it comes to production. I don't want to see the menu a year before I can play the game. I don't need an empty, soulless world with no NPCs before it gets updated. Just take the time it needs and come out with, again, that New Vegas 2. That's what I really want.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they're not really coming around for that. Or you think they're calling it Fallout 5 until they do officially announce Fallout New Vegas 2?
I think that is likely. Yeah, I'm surprised they put a number on it, actually.
Yeah,
and not just the next Fallout project, but maybe that would be showing your hand.
Yeah, I think that's something you want to reveal at a big showcase, right? And have that opportunity to have the New Vegas kind of splash across the screen, and then people just lose their mind. Breaking news: Cory Barlog just actually tweeted out not too long ago today, the best reveal ever. And it was a showcase for God of War 2018. Scott, quick thoughts on will we see anything for God of War this year?
Oh man, we've all been thinking so, but how far away is it? Is it still coming out this year? We're already halfway through the year, so I would expect to see something about it, but
yeah,
unless it's been delayed again.
Oh man, maybe, right? Like
it's
maybe
possible.
It has. I think if anything's taught us one thing is that COVID changed everything. So we've seen one delay after another, and we'll get into a delay later on in the show. But man, oh man, COVID's just changed the landscape of how games are made, where teams are working, what the situation is. Everybody goes remote. Everybody's like, well, not everybody, but it's like half a studio in studio space, the other half are working from home. It just makes things a little bit more complicated already on top of the complex nature of the video game industry. But dude, talking about games coming and going, let's get into PlayStation Plus launch sees over 200 games leave the service. Let's go some Dalton Cooper over at Game Rant. Sony,
I'm puzzled by this.
Man, it's
what does it mean?
Yeah, Sony has finally launched its ambitious PlayStation Plus revamp in North America, giving more gamers the chance to check out the new subscription tiers and everything they have to offer. For those who may not have been following along, Sony has made some big changes to PlayStation Plus, no kidding, in an effort to compete more directly with Microsoft's Xbox Game Pass subscription service. The jury is still out on whether Sony's efforts will be successful or not, but the revamp has already suffered a big blow. Scott, quick little tidbit. I am in on PlayStation Plus Premium thanks to our friends over at PlayStation. I will be reviewing it next week's episode for Inside the Game, so make sure you swing by there. I'll give you my thoughts, and then we'll kind of over the next few months slowly break down other parts of the service as well.
I'm very curious to learn more about the service because I haven't been on there. I don't know PlayStation ecosystem that well,
Sure.
So to hear you kind of go through and explain what's going on is going to help me picture what's going on, because so far I've only heard a bit of a negative fan reaction. There's steadfast defendants of Sony that will defend whatever they do.
Of course, always.
Other than them, I haven't seen too much excitement.
Well, it's one of those things. It's unique. The first thing I went into, honestly, was streaming. Like, how quickly does this work? Does it work well? And I have some thoughts. There's no doubt about that. But the new PS Plus tier give PlayStation 4 and 5 gamers 3 options to choose from. PlayStation Essential, which is essentially PlayStation Plus as we've known from before, Extra, and Premium. The biggest
The
thing, Scott,
PlayStation Plus, Double Plus, and Triple Plus.
right? It just seems like such a weird thing. PlayStation Plus Premium is the priciest tier, and it gives users access to retro games, some of which come with enhancements to improve the experience for modern gamers. It seems that combining PlayStation Now and PlayStation Plus for the PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium tiers has caused an exodus on games that were previously available through the PlayStation Now. A list has been compiled. You can go over to PSN profiles. User S.T.A.L.K.E.R over there has 200 games that are on their way out, and some of them are Red Dead Redemption 2 and Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare. Scott, they're being removed in September.
I scanned through that list, but there's just absolutely way too many to try and pull highlights from. There's a huge amount. Red Dead, probably the biggest one. Just off the hop.
Absolutely. Like I saw it there. It's in the service. Dude, it's like one of the highlights, right? So they have categories broken down. You can kind of jump in and see which ones are like the featured kind of scenario. And then they highlight some of those. But yeah, dude, if they're sticking around until September, like they're losing a lot of games. They have to replace those games. They come out swinging with 500 plus games or whatever it's on the service. I got to dive a little bit more deeper into it, but obviously. But if you have so many games and you take away 200, but you have to think they got to replenish that lineup as well. You see Game Pass do it all the time, Scott. They're on there. Rotation, right? It's like Netflix. Comes in, goes out. Comes in, goes out.
Well, I'm wondering, is it just removing it for that sake, or is this to put it behind kind of the higher tier? Well, so they're taking 200 games out of the Essential and putting it into Premium is what I'm wondering.
So Essential is...
You do want to increase that value of Premium. That makes sense.
Of course. So the Premium gets you the streaming service, PlayStation Classics, and those abilities, right? The PlayStation Now model is rolled into the Extra and the Premium edition. The Essential edition, which is like the bottom tier, just gives you PlayStation Plus monthly subscription games and the ability to play online. So that hasn't changed. It's the next two tiers that give you extra features. So I believe that's why I said I'm still kind of working out the kinks, but Extra gives you the PlayStation Now experience, and then Premium gives you like everything, the classics, the streaming, and all that PlayStation Now lineup of games, and then the ability to play online and all that kind of stuff. Dude, it is such a convoluted mess that I feel like I honestly need to break it all down for everybody so they have an understanding of what you're getting at this tier, that tier, and here. And then these are some of the games. I'm going to highlight some of the games for everybody so they know, here's some of the top tier ones you want to check out. Here's some of the classics that are there. And here's how streaming works. Does streaming work? I think that's the biggest thing now moving into the future of video games. We saw Xbox coming to Samsung TVs with their Game Pass subscription service, right? No box required. Plug it into your TV, or it already comes installed on the TV. Plug yourself into the internet, and away you go. Well, here's Sony kind of answering back on their side of things with the ability to stream as well, and how well does it work. Here's a highlight, a little tidbit of information for you, Scott. It had the ability to either download or stream the game.
Okay. I'm wondering, how many years of PlayStation Now do I have to get so that I can access PT once more?
Yeah, I don't think
I
that's
buy
happening.
A decade, come on, let's make a deal.
Yeah, and they do have brand new games too. Like Red Dead's not obviously that new, but Returnal is. Returnal's one of the newer games on there, so that's a fantastic game. Twin stick shooter, kind of third person experience. Here's another thing too. Resogun launched on PlayStation 4. I jumped back in on that the other day, and it was fantastic. It felt so good to be back.
Played Resogun or heard of it.
It was awesome, dude. It's a Housemarque title. It was launched on PlayStation 4, and it was awesome then, and it is awesome now to jump back in. I had that immediate, this is so cool. I forgot I had played this so long ago. It was one of those experiences to jump back in.
I did that yesterday myself with Doom 2016. Nice. I jumped into that on cloud, and I'd be curious to play cloud Doom on PlayStation because I have a lot of thoughts as to what I experienced with the cloud streaming service yesterday.
That's fair. Scott, why don't you take the next one, because I think this one is all you, buddy.
S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2 Heart of Chernobyl has been delayed into 2023. This comes from the writing of Luke Williams on Console Creatures. The fourth entry into the speculative fiction shooter's creative universe brings us back to the Zone for another round of radiation-fueled horror and an apparent rip in the space-time continuum. it is going all out there in
Yep.
Stalker. I'm super excited about this game, but the highly anticipated sequel has been delayed until next year as GSC Game World operates out of Ukraine's capital city of Kiev.
Yeah.
And many staff members and contractors involved in the game have spent months involved in repelling the occupation. However, the company recently announced that it's opened a satellite campus in Prague, the Czech Republic, to take over the majority of the production. The staff working on the game released a developer diary that I really encourage anybody to watch. It shows how bad the war has become and how many of the developers are forced to live in some rough conditions. Now, we haven't really made any comments on the ongoing events, and we likely should not.
Sure.
Other than really just to sympathize with this situation.
Yeah.
A lot of people are forced to go to work in amongst this, and video game design is no exception. It may sound like something silly to be doing in a situation like that, but this is people's livelihoods, and it's really, the safety has to be number one. It has been for 2 years now, and this is possibly more visible as a danger.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, definitely our hearts go out to everybody who are working in these kind of conditions. Hopefully that gets resolved sooner than later, Scott.
Yeah,
but
can't even imagine.
I couldn't imagine either. Honestly, I really couldn't imagine what they're going through, and just trying to live day to day and get through the situation that's happening over there in Ukraine. And it boggles my mind that that's even a thing to this day. But unfortunately,
No,
it's just
not something I thought I'd see in my lifetime. That's for sure.
No, for sure.
They have. I just want to mention they have changed the spelling of Chernobyl in this title to reflect the Ukrainian spelling of it, which makes sense. I mean, Chernobyl is Ukraine.
Yep. No, absolutely. So, yeah, as I said, all of us over here, the team are definitely thinking of everybody over there in the Ukraine and wishing them all the best and stay safe. So, Scott, let's get into something that dropped yesterday. Definitely, I'm a big fan of Assassin's Creed and Assassin's Creed Valhalla's second year of free updates includes a new game mode. This one was interesting, dude. They dropped.
Will it ever stop?
No, it will not stop. This comes from Owen Good over at Polygon. Assassin's Creed Valhalla will get another year of free post-release content, which includes a new game mode, the roguelite-inspired Forgotten Saga, which sends Eivor straight to hell repeatedly. So yeah, there is that. Yeah, absolutely. The Forgotten Saga, Eivor apparently takes on waves of enemies in a variety of different locations in Naltheim, cast out by Hell herself. Once he's overcome, or she, as I play the female Eivor. So, dude, a bunch of stealth stuff dropped yesterday. About a 6-minute little teaser of what's to come. Ubisoft is stretching this out. I will be honest, they are taking their sweet time, Scott, with just kind of they're drip feeding what's to come for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. A new game announcement is coming in September. I'll tell you right now, dude, that's the Basm spinoff. I know it is. Deep down, dude, is exactly what's coming.
Are they going to show that plus Infinite, or do you think it's going to be?
No.
They still have to kind of end off Valhalla before we even get near there.
Yeah, I think this is the end of Valhalla. I think year 2 will wrap it up. This is what's going on. The Forgotten Saga was given a specific launch date or window. It was not given, sorry. It will be joined in the second year of support by another set of mastery challenges. The first, which arrive in June 2021, so sometime this month, added repeatable combat and stealth trials, plus weapons and other rewards. Assassin's Creed Valhalla will also get an updated armory with more weapons, gear, armor, and customizing options, as well as new Tombs of the Fallen to explore. Dude, Tombs of the Fallen is some of my most enjoyable parts of Valhalla. I love exploring, where the Fallen have come from and stuff like that.
Is that very similar to the Ezio games, where you're going through different cathedrals and stuff like that to break through? Because I really like those ones.
Yes, yeah, somewhat. They're light little puzzles. They go in and unlock kind of the shadow, the hidden ones, and all of their exploration stuff. And dude, it's so cool. I love the tombs. Yeah, the tombs are something really cool. You can go in and explore certain areas and things like that. Find new gear. I found a lot of silver. I'm finally getting into the gold tungsten that I've been looking for. But at 90 hours in, dude, I just reached a point. I'm like, I gotta take a break. I'm just gonna sit back a little bit and take a break.
Oh,
But
even if you love a game, sometimes that's a long time to play it.
no, absolutely, yeah, no, I do love the Assassin's Creed series. Valhalla took a little bit for it actually to connect, but here we are into year 2 now. Free content, so they keep updating. It's crazy, man, and so much content.
I kind of missed the window to jump on at the beginning. I played a
Yeah.
little bit of it, really enjoyed it, but then got my attention taken somewhere else. And now that it's a 2-year game of just massive content, it's almost too big for me to get into.
It honestly, it is kind of daunting to take on, and if you're looking from starting over, dude, with the amount of games we play, like it's tough to get to sometimes. To go,
Yeah.
if I just grind, like I feel sometimes you go and you play for an hour and it's like I didn't do much.
No,
Right?
I'm still stuck 10 hours into Red Dead Redemption 2. That game just goes and goes. Every time I play, I find myself 3 hours later, all I've done is hunting. No, not again.
Yeah. No, and there's hunting in this too, right? Like there's just little things, and there's so much to do here. But yeah, it was funny because I immediately, that's what I said for PlayStation Plus Premium, I went to streaming. Dude, AC Valhalla was there, and that's what I was streaming. So I'll dive into some of my thoughts and how that kind of went. But yeah, that's for next week's episode. Scott, let's get into something interesting for the world of Xbox fans. Are you ready for this one? Because I know I am.
Yeah. Oh, I am.
That's great, but you got to wait till next year. Valheim coming to Xbox in 2023 as a console launch exclusive. Comes from Nicole Carpenter over at Polygon. Viking survival game Valheim is coming to Xbox Game Pass. Publisher Coffee Stain and developer Irongate announced on Tuesday during Microsoft's extended Xbox Games Showcase. I watched that, dude. Some of the deep dives in those games were really, really cool. Valheim will be playable via PC Game Pass and on the Microsoft Store in fall 2022, and will come to Xbox One and Xbox Series X. I'm going to say S as well, via Game Pass in early spring 2023. When they're released, both versions will have full cross-play support at launch. Quote, allowing Vikings to build, fight, and survive together, end quote, regardless of where they're playing, Steam, Microsoft Store, or on console. Microsoft introduced, yeah, dude, isn't that cool? Microsoft introduced Valheim as a console launch exclusive, meaning it's not coming to Sony PlayStation platforms, at least not yet. Console launch, dude, nobody knows. It's funny when they announce a console launch exclusive, it's coming to other platforms, so eventually PlayStation. You just don't know what that window is. Is it 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years? Like nobody knows what that contract terms look like. But Xbox fans can get in there, play that, dude. The minute that dropped, so I watched the conference, right? So I'm watching, I'm like, yo, this is awesome. I can't wait. Steve immediately hits us up in Slack and goes, Drew, look at this. I'm like, yeah, I'm on it, buddy. I saw it. But that's, even Steve's excited for it too, right? We played it over on PC. I have it on PC. It's a great game there. But I'm looking forward to jumping on Xbox.
Well, and I can't believe it's another one. I missed the boat, so I didn't jump onto it. But if Xbox. It's coming onto Game Pass, and you can put achievements there, the little carrot dangle in front of me. Well, I'm wondering if when it goes onto PC Game Pass, can I plug a controller in? Can I just pretend I'm on Xbox? Because it's about the same nowadays.
I would think so. Dude, it's got to be, right? It's got to come there. I would think you can use your controller.
I would think so.
Scott, oh man, we have no, we got one more topic, and I'm gonna think let's push it for tomorrow. I think we'll save that one for tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's get into it. We've got one release for today. What do we have?
We have Nemesis Distress on PC.
Dude, I didn't like this. I was getting stressed just watching it. I was like, this is not for me. I see where they're going with it. I'm like, dude, it's another creepy horror game. There are so many creepy horror games. Why are they doing this to me? I can't play these things.
Distress, something I chase constantly to try and get out of my horror games, but rarely does my heart rate increase.
Oh man, my heart rate just increased watching the trailer. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. But Scott, well, we can't do anymore. Dude, Callisto was not even a chance of me playing that game. Let's get out of here. Scott, that's going to wrap up today's show, everybody. Thank you for joining us. This has been ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. You can always join us live at 11 a.m. Eastern over on twitch.tv/the official ITG, as well as YouTube at ITG Reviews. But if you can't join us live, hit us up later. InsideTheGame.ca, podcast services, and TV streaming networks around the globe. Hit us up over on Twitter, the official ITG as well. Until tomorrow, I'm Drew, that's Scott. We'll see you inside the game.